Hello, I'm in Southampton today at the Family Dog Club, and they have experienced lots of things over lockdown. They've got a huge increase in puppies coming to them, over 50% more puppies. We've got one with us now. Should we be introduced to the most important person in the room?
I think we better. This is Nova, everyone. She is a border collie. She's just a little baby. She's only literally 10 weeks old, bless her. So she is super cute. She's a girl, and she is, she's just amazing. She's super soft and gentle.
She comes here with us for confidence building and socialising.
Yeah, so talk to us about what you do here. So Nova is experiencing your lovely obstacle course here. So explain the kind of things that you do for puppies here.
Okay, so for puppies we do puppy classes, but we also help with a lot of puppies. We often see quite early on in class if they're going to be slightly timid or if they need a different form of socialising. So they come here and we allow them. What we're doing here is something called ACE Free Work, which is Sarah Fisher's thing. And what we do is we set out novel items so they get to use their different senses and they get to explore. But it just really helps to empower them, build confidence. And what we can do is after, if they say they're worried about other dogs, we bring them here. They love this environment. And then we bring in other dogs, so then they have a really positive experience with other dogs, so it's socialising.
Yeah.
So
It's about, for us, it's taking the pressure off of them and not using things that are going to use expectance from us, and actually by taking the pressure off of them, we're really giving them the options to experience life at a slower pace, and like Jeanette was saying, using their sensory information to really make the most of the experience. So it comes down to enrichment, and if we can use these soft novel items at their own pace for enrichment, it's massive for their development. Really, really big.
Yeah, you two absolutely love dogs. It's fantastic to see. We just had a few puppies here and Jeanette just knew exactly how they're going to behave, exactly how they're going to react. Just the professionalism here is amazing. So what have you seen in lockdown? Because you have seen a behaviour in the puppies that are coming to you. Try and describe that for us watching at home.
So the handling issues, which have been due to not being able to be handled as much as possible, the vet's experience not being the same as what it was pre-lockdown. We are seeing separation issues, so a lot of puppies, all of a sudden, they've only ever known their owners be at home all the time, having to go back to the office, so that can have a big impact.
Socially as well.
Yeah. And then socially we're seeing it as well, aren't we? Where, especially in the first lockdown, where the puppies could not be socialised at all and everybody was really staying away from each other.
And it comes down to the information that we and other dogs leave behind constantly everywhere. So, like, if you can imagine the frequency that people would walk certain places and do certain things, what happened through lockdown is that frequency increased massively. So the information, remember, as human beings and with the dogs, when we walk around, we're leaving information. That information falls off of us and falls onto the floor. The dogs are the experts in processing that information in ways that we can't even contemplate. So the way they're processing that information, it's like us going to the library and picking up all those books and reading all that stuff. The dogs are walking around picking that information up constantly. We may not necessarily notice it, but it's a bit like today. We can see the tops of the trees moving. We know what's moving it, it's the wind, but we can't see it. That doesn't mean it's not real. So all that information that we can't see is being left everywhere for the dogs to process and pick up. So
we found a lot of the older dogs really did struggle with that. So there was one day life was normal, and then the next day everybody was out walking their dogs, and that for the older dogs has been quite hard for them to kind of like cope with and stuff.
Yeah, and I suppose that's something you don't even think about. I mean, it's been a huge change for Ash. Hello! But it's also been a huge change for the dogs, the older and the younger ones. So just briefly, what advice would you give to people who have got lockdown puppies and are seeing problematic behaviour like nerves or struggling with other dogs?
So definitely get in touch with a professional, either online or in person. So then you can work out, because every single puppy is so individual, and that's the thing. For some, within a litter of puppies, you would need to train and socialise them differently, even though they've got the same parents and the same upbringing and stuff. So it's individual to each puppy. Yeah. So if we're working with ones that maybe need their confidence built, things like this are ideal. We tend to do a lot of walking with our dog Ruby, so she helps to build their confidence, that sort of thing. In terms of separation, we're recommending that people get to think about what the picture's going to look like when they go back to work, so they prep for that, they get the puppy ready now.
Putting a bit of thought process in beforehand, so that, like Jeanette says there, what we're actually doing is we're trying to envision what the situation could be like if we start putting loads of mini bits of that into the dogs now and preparing for those things. So little bits of leaving, little bits of going off and doing different things while the dogs are in other places. We're prepping them ready, and what we're not is expecting them to make this massive change all of a sudden on the day that we need to go back to work. That's going to really help the puppies have a little bit of normality and a little bit of understanding and release from what's currently happening. But definitely seek the advice of a professional. Slow down. Don't be going as fast. Remember, things take time and good things come to those who wait. So being slower, more methodical, and just giving the puppies time to experience everything at a slower rate of knots rather than, hoping that things happen really quickly. That's going to help massively.
And in terms of handling, just very quickly, make sure you observe your puppy when other people are handling them. So is your puppy, are they happy to go up to other people? Are they then inviting them to touch? Because what happens a lot of the time is a puppy wants to come and investigate us, but they don't necessarily invite us to touch them. So they might be on their back foot, like sniffing. And if we go in and touch them, that's actually going to make it a negative experience with a person because they weren't able to explore that person before they were touched. So again, just watch and observe your puppy. You're looking for little tongue flicks, yawning. These are all signs that your puppy is just getting a little bit stressed in that moment. So if that happens, say someone's handling your puppy and there's a tongue flicking and yawning, you just stop handling them at that point. So.
Well, fantastic advice from the two of you. You've obviously, you've been doing this a very, very long time, and that's very obvious. You are fantastic, and I love what you do here. It's a fantastic project. So Gavin and Jeanette and little Nova, who's been the absolute show at the Family Dog Club. Thank you so much for your advice.
Thank you.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.